Aloha everyone and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Marissa Indigo with Divine DNA Blueprint, taking you with me on a little walk and talk transmission in the forest, sharing some beautiful photos here as well of where I am playing right now in the forest with the ferns and the cedars. So I wanted to come in and share this amazing experience with you all and talk about some of the light body activations, some of the physical sensations in the ascension process. We're having a lot of powerful experiences, and a beautiful word to describe the physical sensations in the body at cellular level as this atomic activation continues is effervescence. Feeling a cellular effervescence, like the cells are dancing, lit up, vibrating so fast. And felt that it was really important to share these physical sensations because they are out of the box. A lot of us are going to continue to have more and more physical sensations that are bizarre. And some of us that are having them first, I think it's important to share so that we can start to normalize this quantum experience. And it felt really important to discuss how these interesting experiences affect our psychology. And a really funny phrase that came through today was, as I'm experiencing, which I'll go into, the phrase came through, "Oh, don't anthropomorphize it." And I was cracking up. And so anthropomorphizing is where we project human traits and behaviors and expressions onto animals. And so in this instance, I think what was being conveyed by higher self, universe, team, is not to humanize the divine experiences, meaning not to bring fear into it. And we don't want to come off as being negative when it comes to the human. So what we're talking about is divine experiences, divine quantum experiences being new, and that can trip up and trigger the programming and the fear and the limbic brain of the smaller human ego, the disconnected self, the fearful self, maybe coming from trauma patterning. So when we talk about the human, we're talking about the wounded ego, or the shadow aspects of ourselves that tend to operate from the past or project into the future. Regardless, the foundation stone from that operating system is the same, it's fear-based. So old paradigm, just to clarify. So they were saying, don't anthropomorphize this experience. Because first, with all of this energetic sensation, the first thing that arises is, oh, and you might feel a little anxiety, a little anxiousness, because there's this flurry of energy inside of us, almost like the tickling of butterflies in the belly, the fluttering of the heart. And then you're feeling this cellular effervescence, like your cells are bubbles, or like there's bubbles inside of your body, floating around and dancing and rising. And with so much energy, sometimes the initial reaction, this like unconscious gut response, can be a fear-based one, and thinking that we're having anxiety or a panic attack because the body is adapting to these new experiences. So it kicks off sometimes trauma patterning in our human, in our nervous system. I also want to be sure to mention that when we are having these bodily sensations and coming into the body, landing in the body is new for us. You know, we've got to have compassion for ourselves. Remember, we were all programmed to essentially live in a tiny little black box in our brain, in like the left hemisphere of the brain, not even the whole brain. So for a lot of us, coming into the body is a new experience. Sometimes this is an easier experience for biological women because we have a lot more going on with our bodies that is connecting us to natural cycles and rhythms, right? And so the embodiment process can be challenging for men. But that being said, we are all programmed, whether we're biological men or women right now, to function more as a masculine energy in that left hemisphere. So I want to make sure that we're really clear that the embodiment process is new for a lot of us, and that's why we resist it so much, literally until the 11th hour, where you can't anymore if you want to stay here, right? And it's really important to also know that for those of us that are new to being in the body, starting to come into the body can also bring up fear, and it can also bring up mortality, death urge type themes, which we talk about in Tai Chi Gong. Also birth trauma themes, like incarnating here was challenging. You know, it was scary and it kind of sucked to be a soul squished into a body, depending on how your birth was as well, your arrival here. And for people who are dealing with physical illness, imbalance, the embodiment process can also kick on fears of that repeating or getting worse. But actually, it's important to know that the autoimmune stuff, the imbalance, the dis-ease, the illness, is because we're disconnected from the body. By not living in the body and operating under unconscious programming that is actually toxic to ourselves and our being, holding these toxic energies in place, we're making ourselves ill. So the embodiment process can kick on a lot of things for you. And I've done a lot of work to share how this can come up. I've got a lot of videos on the body. One of them is The Body, the Final Frontier, where we have to essentially encounter ourselves and our belief systems and what we're holding in the body. So there's a lot of deep processing with this. So I do offer discounts this month for sessions after the eclipse because there's so much going on. There's so much that we have seen, and there's still so much yet left to uncover and to embrace and to transcend from a belief system perspective of separation. So I definitely want to make sure that I touch on that the body holds a lot of programs, a lot of energy, a lot of stories for people, or if we've had traumatic experiences, right? Abuse, all kinds of stuff, that's all held in the body. So we have infinite compassion and understanding for all of that. We have had trauma, we've had eating disorders, all of it. It's all part of the human experience. We're trying to learn what control is, what power is, what love is, what nurturing is, what the body is, right? And now we get to take it to such an amazing level of divine gnosis of the body as this amazing energy vessel for the soul with an amazing consciousness of its own. So this gets into a lot of the Lemurian activation of consciousness as well, bringing in universal and divine harmonic law as a being having a physical experience. It becomes very exciting. So there's a lot to come, which is why I always want to cheerlead you all to push through the resistance. Tai Chi Gong really helps with this because you get out of your head, out of the program, so you can go deeper. So just wanted to make sure that I touched on that. Support is here for you. Your body is here for you. It's amazing and it loves you and it wants to partner with you and play and dance and create and sing and hold hands with your friends and have an amazing time here with Gaia. So just wanted to make sure that I definitely put that into this transmission. And so the invitation, when we start having these really interesting sensations, is to sit with it and go deeper. Don't stop at, I'm feeling anxiety, and I need to do something to remedy this or self-soothe or self-medicate. Some of our initial responses to perhaps an overwhelming energy. And so the invitation is to stop and breathe and feel through and ask, what is here for me now? What is present for me? What is this? What's going on? And then you start to expand, to take in the experience and to get out of your mind with it and into the body, into the energy. And then asking more, what is this? What is here for me? Feeling in and feeling magic and love and the divine. And so that's where they're jokingly, lovingly saying, don't anthropomorphize it. Don't humanize your divine experience. Don't reference from the past with this. Be with it and see what's coming through. What is happening right now? And so the invitation here is to really sit with our psychology, our patterning, trauma patterning. This is the limbic brain that can get kicked off with this. And to go deeper, to go underneath and feel what's really there, beyond what the mind is trying to define or to conceptualize. We are shattering a lot of glass ceilings right now. A lot of amazing experiences are starting to happen as we embody more light, which is consciousness. So I have not been sleeping very much these last few days, and then having these interesting body experiences. Had a wonderful Mother's Day, sending out that love and gratitude to all the mamas out there. Happy Mother's Day. And in truth, every day is Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of them. Right? Being in that present space of so much gratitude for everything and everyone. Every day is definitely Earth Day as well. And so woke up with a fluttering heart, butterflies in the belly, a lot of energy, feeling like, whoa, change is coming. And having what initially I thought was some anxiety, but as I felt under it, as I sat with it for a bit, I realized, no, this actually isn't anything negative or unpleasant or like a warning or a forewarning of something ominous. This is not any of that. So let me chill. Let me take off the defenses, sit in the heart space and ask Source, ask the universe, what is this? And then they proceeded to show me and bring me that word again that I love so much of effervescence. Seeing the cells bathed in light, seeing the solar activity that's happening right now, which is why a lot of us aren't sleeping, and a lot of us are having so many psychological purging experiences where you're having memories, these opportunities to release more and more of the wounded parts of ourselves that kind of kept us small or feeling limited. We've still got a lot going on with Galactic Center, and there's a lot going on with the Pleiadians right now. I've been seeing a ton of ships in the sky. I don't know if you guys have been seeing any ships in the sky, in the clouds. James Gilliland's latest update is wonderful for As You Wish Talk Radio. I'll put a link in the description box below. He does the Saturday night shows, which is a fun little update on galactic happenings, world events, things like that, if you like that kind of thing. So there's a lot happening right now. And today is the last day of the planet Jupiter in the sign of Aries, where it has been for a year. So for a year, we have been in depth expanding our sense of self, our independence. Where are we pioneering? Where are we adventuring? Where are we trying something new or expressing and embracing our individuality, deconstructing more and more of the ego, the false self, and embracing the authentic self and starting to feel comfortable, safe, and enjoying expressing that self with love and just an ease of being like I am. I am the I am. It's very simple. So a lot of baggage has been coming up for us with the Jupiter and Aries cycle to release all of that stuff, a lot of the inner child stuff, childhood wounding. So tomorrow, Jupiter goes into Taurus. And now there's this beautiful invitation to expand our value, our sense of self-worth, our value of who we are and our energy. And it can be as simple as our value as a being here of consciousness at this time, and then expanding that into our passions and talents and what really lights us up to express ourselves. It does also touch on financial prosperity because Taurus is about the earth plane and bringing the Venusian qualities here, heaven on earth, right? On earth as it is in heaven, those codes. So you're going to start to feel some expansions in order to build your abundance and really start to anchor your dreams into the physical reality. And with this expansive energy, this effervescent, this light body activation that I've been experiencing this morning, I was shown this has to do with Jupiter going into Taurus. And the planet Uranus is also in the sign of Taurus, which is that divine electrical energy, that higher voltage that we've been talking about for years. Like, hey, get ready for your light body to come online. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of bizarre sensations. Sometimes you can have electrical waves that are quite intense going into the heart. So it's like there's can be some kind of panging sensations or aches in the heart or even stabbing sensations in the heart because of the electrical hardwiring having major shocks going through it. So sometimes the energies of the universe feel like the paddles, to shocking us awake. And then the human would say, oh, that's a heart attack. No, if you really feel into it, you're not having a heart attack. None of the other things are present. It's electrical voltage flying through the body. And so I was just guided to come in and share my experience and to support everyone in remembering to continue to go deeper until you really arrive at what the thing is. To sit with it and to deconstruct it, to be in it, to sink in, to float in it, to swim in the sensations that are arising and go beyond the human construct of defining what it is, allowing the divine to show you what it is, allowing your light body and your light body technology to show you what it is, allowing the universe to show you what's happening at a quantum level. And the more comfortable we can get with this process, the more fun it becomes. We get more relaxed, less tension in the body. And when you're feeling these influxes of energy, it can cause a sensation of anxiety at first because we are so cerebral and we're really transitioning from a linear existence to a quantum one, a holographic one, of feeling everything at once, taking it all in at one time, and not letting it necessarily be any one thing, but taking it all in and feeling the overarching theme of what is present here when I feel out into this, and feeling that love, that divinity. And we're speaking right now of the activations that are coming from the sun and from source and from the divine, not the human programming or what we're seeing in the lower dimensions of consciousness. Because when you feel into those, you will feel what those are. You'll feel, oh, this is not infinite. This is not source. This is a cycle or a process or whatever words you want to use. Today we're really struggling with words because they're very silly and can be kind of confining in the energetics as we're trying to explain things. So welcoming in these light body experiences and allowing ourselves to go deep, deep to the core of the experience to truly know what is and what is happening. And I have some programs that I've developed over the years that have come through to prepare us for these times. So there's Lightbody Prana Yoga, which is really amazing. I do have some free classes on YouTube. I'll share some links to that. And I also have whole programs to get into the body at an elemental level with the energy. There's also the Tai Chi Gong practice, which is a free gifted practice. And I'm very excited to announce that with the shifting of Jupiter into Taurus and our self-value and owning our self-value, I have been guided to create a membership platform. This first one, I'm going to eventually have two. One will be co-ed and one will be for women. The co-ed one, I'm still developing that because I want it to be really good for the men and the women. And right now, because I'm a woman, the female experience, the divine feminine rising experience is more natural. I've been living that this time. So that's coming online first. So I was very excited to share this brand new program I've been developing. And it's a monthly membership where we get together. There's going to be a Telegram group, a lot of connection, a lot of one-on-one and group time with me as we're deep in the journey of really starting to actualize our potential and to take the action steps to do the initiations that we're shown to do. A lot of throat chakra, speaking our truth, establishing boundaries, communication with others, communication with ourself, building the relationships with ourself, and starting to really trust our divine connection and that the body is the barometer, is the oracle for digesting information. So essentially we are deprogramming, we're just ripping out a lot of the old hardwiring of the old paradigm, together in a beautiful, safe space where I'm providing a lot of wisdom, experience, and activations and embodiment practices to support this process, because we have to transition from being cerebral now into the full body, into reading the energy and really existing through the senses, through the entire body. And this is one of the gifts of the planet Jupiter, which is all about expansion, going into Taurus. Taurus is here, the mystic. Buddha was a Taurus. The Taurus energy teaches us how to divinitize the human experience through the senses, through the sensual connection to the planet and to one another. It's a very beautiful, embodied process that is very deep, and it does challenge everything we were taught before, because we were essentially twisted away on many levels from trusting our own intuitive faculties, our gifts, our connection to source, all these things that are inherently with us. So there's a lot of deprogramming in this container that we're going to be doing. We'll be working with weekly themes and just kind of checking in with one another. What's arising for you? How is this going? And we'll also have a monthly connection call on Zoom where we do live work together, talking about what's coming up. So we get to work together in a group setting and do deep, beautiful clearing. And I'll do oracle state work with you all, some spot coaching. Just feeling it's really time to go to the next level and to offer at the next level. So that's going to be for all of that. Also, I'm including with this program classes. So whatever feels aligned of work I've put out there. And then you also will have discounts to sessions and different things. So there's a lot of perks with this. And I was guided to create this for those who can't do a one-on-one session, right? Maybe that's just too much of an investment right now. So it's $44 monthly subscription for all of this that we're going to be doing. And I'm so excited to offer it. And just wanted to share this whole transmission about the body, redefining our relationship. The body is the light ship, right? We have heard these terms over and over, oh, the Merkaba, all of this. It's like, well, what does it really mean? How do we actually use it? How do we relate to it? And so we really are starting to be very strongly invited to transition out of the mind and just making everything cerebral, everything just words, right, that are just wind, essentially. It's not really taking us anywhere. It's like, oh yeah, we can conceptualize it, but are we feeling it? Are we actually embodying it? Are we embracing it? Are we living it? Or are we just talking about it? Are we just doing memes about it, right? And so there's this deeper level of stepping into the great mystery and our mastery coming forth and supporting us to live more consciously, more connected, with more confidence and grace from an empowered and unified state now. So much coming online. I look forward to hearing how your value is coming through. A lot of us, new boundaries, new communication. It could be shifts in relationships as well. All kinds of ways, new forms of expression, self-care at deeper levels, realizing like, wow, I've really got to prioritize my alignment with my energy in order to function. So really starting to see now how we are energy beings. We've been talking about it a long time, but now we're really having experiences of seeing when we are misaligned, what happens and how our creations can be unconscious or conscious. So just wishing you all an amazing experience. We're going to have a year of this Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, a year of coming into the bodies and landing on new earth, getting to know Gaia on a whole new level, working with the elements and the elemental shamanism, the unique amalgam or recipe that we all are of energy, and embracing that and establishing new levels of self-intimacy. Because when we really know ourselves, we're free to be. And so I look forward to hearing your experiences of feeling this shift of Jupiter into Taurus. I'll put some information below if you're interested in the initial membership. We're going to be starting with women first, because that's just the natural way, the natural progression of my life, getting to be the conscious leaders in our life. And eventually, as we roll out for the men, and I'd like to hear from you, men. You're welcome to leave comments below. What are you looking for? What do you need support with? Or you can email me about that. If it's like too vulnerable, you don't want to put it out there. Sometimes being vulnerable is great and it supports others, to be so. Sometimes it's more private. But I would love to know how we can support the men at this time also coming into their fullness. And we will be doing that to come in a co-ed situation to really reprioritize the divine connection and appreciation between the sacred masculine and the divine feminine. Everyone wins. There's no power over, there's no hierarchy. So we're really going to be working at dismantling and deprogramming and breaking ego programming together in a very loving, very high integrity, sacred space. And I look forward to all of this. I look forward to this work that I've been called to do, to share deeper layers of this work and to connect more, all of this. And if any of you are local in the Pacific Northwest or want to come hang out at ECETI, I will be at the ECETI Ranch, James Gilliland's wonderful ranch for enlightened contact with extraterrestrial intelligence, the last weekend of May. So the 26th, Friday night, I will be there for the Skywatch party to connect with our star family and like-minded individuals. So if you're in the area and you'd like to hang out in person, that will be a really great way to connect. And if that date doesn't work for you, I highly recommend going to the ranch anyway. It does open, I think it's May 22nd that the ranch opens back up. It's in Washington at Mount Adams. Highly recommend this place. It's a wonderful place to go and to connect with our starry origins in a very visceral way. And it's really fun to watch the mountain and watch the ships coming in and out of the mountain. There's a lot of activity. Mount Adams is a sister volcano, so a stratovolcano, mountain. So she's a sister in the Cascades to Mount Shasta and Mount Hood and Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens. Like there's just so many mountain ranges here. They're all sisters, all crystalline pyramid temples into inner earth and a lot of intergalactic travel. And so it's really fun to come together and experience these sacred connections in person now and start to really embrace our galactic heritage, our multidimensionality, our divinity on all levels. And so I'm just wishing you an amazing experience with this, Jupiter and Taurus. Welcome to the body. Welcome to this living crystal matrix that is your body, that is fluid, that shifts with your own shifts of state of mind and emotion and energy levels. This is your avatar. And it is intricately connected with your psychology, right? So we are psychosomatic beings. That's another thing we're going to touch on in these immersive groups together is a lot of shamanic, somatic practices to get into the body, to liberate, and to reduce restriction and inhibition. And thank you so much for joining me, for tuning in, sending you so much love and all this emerald energy. Don't forget to connect to Gaia. Take a pause, feel your breath, listen to the birds, smile at your neighbors, and connect your energy in with the master crystals. Drop those grounding cords in. Ask Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, 5D and above, New Earth, crystalline grids to receive you and plug in and feel what is here for you. The truth and the energy is much vaster than can be conceived, and it certainly will not be televised. So we are responsible for plugging in, anchoring in. Wishing you all an amazing day, and I'll see you for the next transmission. Aloha!